Happy Tuesday, everyone. I'm going to be behind on it, but that's okay. I am heading to the gym. I did find my goggles for the tanning, so I'm going to go in there today because I need some sun. I mean, the sun's out, but it's still too cold to just sit out in the sun for 15 minutes. Or even walk in the sun for 15 minutes. Oh, I wonder what's going on down here. Some of the wires, looks like Excel is here working on the lines. Yeah, so there must have been a problem with some of the lines, but that's okay. Anyways, like I said, I'm going to go to the gym, and then I do have my book in there, so I'm going to read instead of listening to TV. I haven't really watched TV in a couple weeks. Well, I haven't watched since before I went on my cruise, and I get very frustrated when I listen to news and they're lying. So how do I know they're lying? Usually because I either know someone that was there, or I was there, or I know the rules of law, so to speak. Yeah, so, but I wanted to talk. So I started this book called After the Rapture. I'm only on the first chapter, so, but just in that very first chapter, I realized that I truly do not necessarily understand what the rapture was in the Bible, the way they explain. I mean, because the Bible is pretty straightforward. It's not giving you like a picture of how it happens or any of that. So it tells you it's going to happen. It tells you that nobody knows when it's going to happen. And they tell you what's going to happen after the rapture. But this book is breaking it down into small chunks of literally how it will happen, not when it will happen because nobody knows that, and what will happen when the second coming of Christ here on earth happens. So that being said, if you have read the Bible, especially Revelations, and do not understand what the rapture means to us in our lifetime, and it might not even happen in our lifetime, we don't know. I recommend the book After the Rapture, because it breaks it down kind of like they used 9/11 as kind of a jumping off point for trying to explain it. Which, it talked about a guy who went in the freezer, and this is just in the first chapter. He went in the freezer, was in there for about 15 minutes. It's a soundproof freezer in a restaurant. And when he came out, there was nobody left in the restaurant. And all of a sudden, some guy came running in saying, "You've got to see this, you've got to see this, you've got to see this." And so he stepped outside and there was basically nothing left. So I'm not saying that's exactly how it's going to happen, but it gave it some perspective. And I think sometimes that's what we need, because for one, so it drives me crazy when people don't understand, or they want to rewrite history on things. I've been told, well, you have German ancestry. Yes, I do. But on my mom's side, like generations ago. And I mean generations ago, not like so my grandmother my mom's mother had some German ancestry. She was not full German. She was born in the United States. She was her parents were of German ancestry, and so again, not full German, but of German ancestry. And then her great grandparents, so that would be my grandmother's great grandparents or whatever. But now my mom's dad was born on the reservation that was in Shakopee back in the early 1900s and 1800s. And he was born 1899, I believe, or 1898, something like that. And that's where my mom grew up, was on the reservation in Shakopee. We kind of all laughed, and I've got to tell this story just because it's kind of funny. She got her first payment from the tribe when it was probably early 1970s. She'd probably gotten others, but they probably came to her dad because when her dad was alive, or to her mom or whatever. Anyways, but when she got her first little tribal check, it wasn't even worth cashing. So these people who think that tribal members always received all of this big money, they did not receive money like that. The bigger chunks of money, which they're not still big chunks. Are they decent amount? Of course. Can they feed a family on it? Probably. But her first check was for 3 cents. 3 cents. It would have cost her more to cash it than it was worth. So she never cashed it. As a matter of fact, I just found it, which I think is hilarious. Because I didn't realize she had kept it in the metal box that my dad had with all the important papers in it. And so I just had to laugh. Now, my dad, he, on the other hand, did get some decent money from White Earth Indian Reservation. I'm not going to say he got a ton of money, because he really didn't. But he would get $300 there, $300 here, $600 sometimes, just depended on what was going on. Now, my parents, neither one of them were alive. Well, my mom was, but my dad was not alive when White Earth actually had a casino put on their land. So he didn't get any of the money that came out of the casino, which is how the tribes now support people that live on tribal land. So you'll have to stay tuned for part 2 of this story.